Hello, hello. Good evening to you. Happy Sunday. Welcome to HODL Harmony, where the beat of the blockchain meets the rhythm of riches. Are you ready to ride that crypto wave with me? What crypto wave? That crypto wave. I'm Tom Durante, the maestro. See? It says right here on this little plaque that I have. A crypto enthusiast who jumped into this wild world back in 2020 with a GPU mining rig. I'm bullish on Bitcoin and Cardano. But I also love chasing profits with other coins. With my music background, I bring a unique vibe breaking down the crypto economy. Think of it as a soundtrack to your hodling journey. Here on HODL Harmony, expect weekly videos, sometimes daily videos, simple technical analysis to read those charts, wallet guides to keep your coins safe, stories from my mining journey, and practical crypto tips. Whether you're new or a seasoned hodler, I'm here to learn and grow with you. I may be a few years ahead of you on your journey, but I am no expert, just passionate. So as always, do your own research. Remember, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever I put out new content. And please share this video with your friends if you enjoy it and you find it helpful. Follow me here on follow me here on YouTube, on Instagram, and on X for more. I mostly post here on YouTube and Instagram, but I do have an X account. I'll post those down in the video description below. I'm going to try and keep this relatively quick. Let's find the harmony in hodling together. A daily little update here for you. We got to check in on some charts. I'm just going to try and keep this rather quick. I just want us to kind of take a little journey. As always, I always want to start with the blockchain. Viewing my node. Remember, my node is running this screen that you're watching. These are the transactions being compiled by my node. Okay? And so that's just special. That means that I'm running this, and when I put my own transactions through this node, I can be absolutely certain of their validity. Okay? That is the reason why you should run your own node. It's super easy. And my Raspberry Pi probably uses barely any power. If the Avalon Nano 3S uses a quarter of power a day, and it's burning up, running Bitcoin, running hot, the Raspberry Pi maybe runs 5 cents a day. Alright, I've got something exciting for you today. I want to try and keep this pretty quick, but I do want to talk about a couple of historical events that have happened this week in crypto history. April 23rd, 2011, Namecoin's Genesis block. Remember we talked about Namecoin being created? Well, on this day in 2011, the first altcoin, Namecoin, mined its first block, launching as a fork of Bitcoin. And we'll talk more about what that is, but basically they copied let me turn that down a bit. They copied the Bitcoin blockchain code and made it into their own, essentially. And so then they created their own cryptocurrency, and that was the second one, the first altcoin, meaning Bitcoin was around, and then Namecoin came, took the same code and did something with it and changed it and made it their own. That's what a fork is. It aimed to create a decentralized domain name system, DNS, for .bit domains, resistant to censorship. Why it matters for beginners. This event shows how Bitcoin's technology inspired new blockchains. Namecoin used the same SHA-256 algorithm as Bitcoin, meaning miners like the Avalon Nano 3S and the 1246s in my garage could theoretically merge mine it, earning rewards from both chains. It highlights blockchain's versatility beyond currency. That's pretty interesting. All right, so the impact of that is Namecoin introduced altcoins, expanding the crypto ecosystem. Though niche today, it proved Bitcoin's mining model could support diverse applications. That's pretty interesting. And then, on April 25th, 2013, Mt. Gox dominates Bitcoin trading. Okay, Mt. Gox, a Tokyo-based exchange, and Mt. Gox is MT.GOX, and that stands for Magic the Gathering Online Exchange. So Magic the Gathering is a card game, basically, and so you have, I'm just learning how to play it. I have a Lord of the Rings Magic the Gathering set that I put together, and some of my students at school are teaching me how to play, which is pretty cool. But anyway, it's a trading card game. Kind of like, I would hesitate to say this to upset people, but in the realm of Pokemon, how you have cards that do some certain things and actions and whatnot. But anyway, so this was an online exchange for Magic the Gathering, and it was one of the first places where you could buy Bitcoin online. Before that, you just had to go peer-to-peer. You said, hey, Joe, you want to sell me some Bitcoin? And Joe would say, nah, I'm in a HODL. I'm just kidding. He probably sold it to you. Okay, so Mt. Gox, a Tokyo-based exchange, handled over 70% of Bitcoin transactions, becoming the largest Bitcoin exchange during a price surge to $160. Where was I in April 2013? Why it matters. Exchanges like Mt. Gox made Bitcoin accessible, but its 2014 hack, which we have just recently, 10 years later, resolved, hopefully, losing 850,000 Bitcoin, not dollars, 850,000 Bitcoin. Okay, somebody hacked it. This is early in the network. Showed the risks of centralized platforms. This contrasts with decentralized mining, like my Nano 3S. Remember, I'm using Grok, so whenever I give it a piece of information, it likes to regurgitate it and say it a bunch of times because it's relevant to this context. Anyway, so like the Nano 3S, which secures the network without intermediaries. The impact? Mt. Gox dominance boosted Bitcoin's visibility, but exposed vulnerabilities, leading to stronger exchange security and a push for decentralization. All right. So let's check in with where the market is, because the whole reason I hopped on today was because I saw this coming up. All right. So this was yesterday's little graph that I put up. We went up 0.83%, and then, oh wow, you see that? It went up there. Let's expand that to see how high it went up. It went up, okay, 1.3%. And then it dropped back down all the way down here. Let's put a graph on it and give us some numbers. Something I realized after watching yesterday's live stream was I never said what the price was. What an idiot. It is $94,405 for one Bitcoin. Okay. I guess I just assumed you could see it, but it's kind of hard to read it on a phone. All right, so from here, oops, that's not what we wanted. There we go. Here down, it dropped 1.82. So it went up 1.3, dropped 1.82, and it's been slowly working itself back up. So I saw these candles and I was like, all right, I like how this is going. And we see this blue, what is this telling us? I think the blue dots are like pattern reversals. So it's wanting to do that. The more of these that we get, the more that we're going to get. And if we, the more likelihood that it is to go in that direction, to reverse the direction that it's going, right? And these red X's are also something that I need to learn about and tell you about. But you can see here, this is also important. All of this context is important, right? You see these bars down here are the volume. So we had a huge volume spike, which drove the price up. And then there's just not a lot of volume right now. Okay, let's see what the AI wants to tell us. Bitcoin's ETF, which is an exchange traded fund, which is how I would say less experienced Bitcoiners could get exposure to Bitcoin's price through the stock exchange. So saw inflows of 3.06 billion over 6 trading sessions. The second largest total. The highest daily inflows were 936 million. Okay, So not a whole lot happening right now, but we're starting to go up. Maybe tonight, like I said, midnight is a good time for things to start moving again. So maybe it's pumping to a midnight pump to a Monday rally. We will find out when we wake up. But you can see here the momentum waves. It shows you how Bitcoin is moving. So it correlates exactly with the price here. So it goes up and it comes down along with this, and it went up just a little bit and then came back down, and it's just whenever they get smaller and smaller, something big is going to happen. And so here it is. So this looks like it's peaking, this is just the peak of the wave. So it may come back down and then it may blast back off, but who knows? You see, that would correlate if I did that line. I'm not very good with my lines. Let's see if I could do a line here. Brush. I've not done this before. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, so if I do that, and then we do this, that's midnight right there. I'm going to leave that, and we'll see what happens. That's cool. I have not done that before. And let's add this to my little toolbar here. Can I minimize it? Alright, let's check in with Cardano. I've got some little trinkets here I want to show you. So I have this open in many different ways on different computers. And look, a similar thing. Oh no, that's Bitcoin. Similar thing. It almost looks exactly like Bitcoin because it is. Alright, I like to get, I don't know why. I don't particularly like Coinbase. I'm on Coinbase, but I use, what's this? Let's try this one. Oh, look at that. So the price of Cardano, before I forget, is 71 cents, up from yesterday's video of 70 cents. Let's see, yesterday, it was about 6 o'clock, and it was pumping up. That's when I was looking at it. Look at that move. That is gorgeous. Let's take a look at that. So from this bottom, there's a wick right here on the bottom, all the way up to here. So in 4 hours, did those backwards. Didn't know you could do that. I'm learning so much. Alright, so from the bottom to the top, we got a 3% gain. That's pretty good. 2 cents. 0.25 cents. Alright, 4 hours, a big pump. And you can see this momentum wave is up too. Why do I not see? Oh, there's an error here. What's this? Something has gone wrong with more. Yeah, because I don't see the volume down there. Alright, so anyway, our dollar index is also moving up. Nope, that's Bitcoin. Oh, I love this. DXY. Dollar index. Let's go for that. Yep, nice little pump. So these are starting to move in tandem, and I don't know why, but that's okay. Alright. My public pool. Boop-a-doop-boop. Well, there you have it. Alright, I got how much? So this has been pretty stable because I put my miner on and I just leave it on. And so I'm getting an average of about 195 terahash or so. So right now we're a little bit under, but it takes a minute to report. Alright, let's talk about something. Let me bring you over here. I just want to show you a couple things. So I love just like little trinkets. These are some things that I've had for a long time. Back when I was mining Ethereum. Look, it's my camera. There you go. It's a little Ethereum coin. And it's got some words on the back there talking about Ethereum. Decentralized, what does it say? Decentralized platform that runs smart contracts. So that was the first thing that Ethereum was good for. It's basically like a computer on the blockchain. Right? We got a gold one. Same thing, just with a golden Ethereum logo. This camera does not like to focus as well as the other one. There you go. That's a little better. All right. Moving on. We've got a Bitcoin one, obviously. I like to show this to the students and be like, look, I have a Bitcoin. I'll be like, what? It's not a Bitcoin. And then I have a Cardano one, right? So that is the Cardano logo. It says, Cardano, decentralized applications, blockchain cryptocurrency. And then one of the nodes or validator type things for the Cardano blockchain, trying to get that to focus, is Daedalus. There you go. Ouroboros, the snake eating its tail, thus creating a loop. And this is the Daedalus wallet, where you can hook it up and it runs the Cardano blockchain. A couple more. I got one that I like to keep in my pocket. Little bit Bitcoin. There it is. I've got like computer stuff on the back. And then, like I said, I'm into silver. Tends to like if I do that. Oh, where is it? There it is. So a silver Bitcoin. Bitcoin cryptocurrency. Vires in numeres. Truth in numbers or something like that. And then the world. Decentralized consensus. Golden State Mint. That's where I buy my silver. One more thing I want to take a look at here. The book. Excuse me. Getting excited. The Book of Satoshi. So what this is the collected writings of the Bitcoin creator Satoshi Nakamoto, compiled by Phil Champagne. All right. So what we have in here is a collection of emails and writings, and actually the entire Bitcoin white paper. So you can read through that, and then it starts going on and showing us forum posts and things like that. So, okay, here we go. About centrally controlled networks versus peer-to-peer networks. Okay. Satoshi makes a reference to the ability of governments to shut down any centralized system, such as the music file sharing website Napster. Those of you younger viewers may not know what Napster is, but those of us who grew up with the internet being a new thing, Napster was where we kind of downloaded music illegally. Some of us knew what it was, some of us didn't, and we just kind of did it anyway, until they cracked down on it. I heard something that it's coming back in a different form, like streaming. Okay, or the digital gold currency e-gold, which is not e-gold, the cryptocurrency. This is something different. Pure peer-to-peer networks seem to have been demonstrated to be more resilient. Okay, and then it shows a little excerpt of what is a forum or an email. It says Satoshi Nakamoto, Friday, 7th November 2008 at 9:30. Lengthy exposition of vulnerability of a system use of force monopolies use of force monopolies elided. So this is like in brackets, not included in this. You will not find a solution to political problems in cryptography. So this is the original message, and then Satoshi responded to this. Yes, but we can win major battles in the arms race and gain a new territory of freedom for several years. Governments are good at cutting off the heads of centrally controlled networks like Napster, but pure peer-to-peer networks like Nutella, with a G, GNU, and Tor seem to be holding their own. 2008 they were talking about Tor. It's still around. Satoshi. Signed Satoshi on the cryptography mailing list. So that's just a little excerpt. This is really all I wanted to do, and I'm going to hop off. And you've been listening to some of my Refusion AI music. So look forward to more of that. I'm going to be releasing a lot of those, and they will be over on my Durante's House of Music channel. So check that out. Right now, this channel's pulling ahead in subscribers, so I truly appreciate all of you for being here and for watching my content. So let me sign off. Where is my sign off? I don't know if I have a script for that. Anyway, I'll just do what I typically do, is talk about how happy I am that you are here. Please, be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Look out for each other. Stay hydrated. My water's over there. I need to go get some. And remember, I'm here for you. I'm here to help. So reach out in the comment section with questions. Make sure, things that you can do for me. If you enjoy what I'm doing, hit that like button. That helps the YouTube algorithm tell it that you like what I'm doing. Hit the subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever I go live or post new content. And most importantly, share this video with your friends if you like the content and you found it helpful. Please enjoy the rest of your Sundays. Look out for some posts here on YouTube in case something happens in the market. Have a great evening.